Hello, welcome to another edition of Crop Life Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of Crop Life and Crop Life Iron magazines, here again with Lara Sowinski. Lara, I see you're in your home office, and as you can probably tell, I'm finally back in studio for I don't know how many months it's been since I've been in our studio setting, but here I am in Studio M, as we affectionately refer to it as. So
Wow. Did they change the locks on the door? Were you able to get into the office?
my door codes still work, so I think I'm still a happily employed member of the company. So,
Well, that's
and
good.
no, yeah, even with other changes, no, the doors still work just fine, and it's nice to be in studio again. This was a place that I don't know 8 9 years ago when we started Retail Week. This was our home. It was a lot grayer looking back then because there was no such thing as a green screen, which is hopefully looking very, very pretty behind me because we're in pre-production right now. I'm not seeing what it looks like, but I'm sure it looks nice to all our viewers. So,
Yeah, good.
all
Nice
right.
to
Well,
see.
hey, I guess we will start out this week with some news from you. And I guess we would put it under the heading of international news to share. So take it away, Miss Laura.
Absolutely. So, as our viewers may or may not know, glyphosate was scheduled to be banned from use in the EU at the end of 2023. However, on September 20th, the European Commission proposed to extend the use of glyphosate um, for another 10 years. So, just recapping some of a Reuters news item here. Um, blah, blah, blah. The U.S. EPA and the European Chemicals Agency have classified glyphosate as non-carcinogenic. Nonetheless, the World Health Organization's Cancer Research Agency concluded in 2015 that glyphosate was probably carcinogenic to humans. So, as we all know, kind of uh, competing decisions out there as to the safety. Um, and furthermore, the Commission, so this was a proposal by the European Commission that needs to be approved by the EU, the 27 members of the EU. So the proposal will be put to vote on October 13th, which is Friday the 13th. So we will
Which, and I
hopefully
know
know.
this video will be airing after that date, but we're actually recording it before that date. So we don't know the results from the voting just yet.
Exactly.
Although I know, in the past, Laura, I know following this, I know in particular France has been against glyphosate's extension in Europe, but I'm not sure whether other countries may be joining them in that fight against the herbicide. But I suppose we'll find out in time for next week's video.
Indeed. And as far as the vote itself, so the Commission's proposal, again, voting on October 13th by the 27 EU members with a qualified majority of 15, representing at least 65% of the bloc's population required to either support or to block the proposal. So a qualified majority. So 15 have to approve in order to see that 10-year extension go through. So, yeah, that was a big news item. We didn't catch it a little, well, I mean, this was September 20th, so, but I was actually working on an article for our Crop Life November issue and was doing some research and ran across this. So glad to catch it in time for this vote. So, yeah, big news item, and we'll have the outcome next week for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Again, I know, glyphosate. There have been other places around the world that have tried to get rid of glyphosate for a year
Yeah.
or so, and the results for their harvests have, let's uh, let's just say they've been a little less than positive, so that they've actually gone back to using it. So we'll see what the EU decides. But again, stay tuned for next week's video, viewers, and we'll have an update on this story.
Yep, absolutely. So
All
what do you
right.
have?
Well, what do I have? Well, actually, I guess this would be under the heading, if we're going to do heading, since we did international, this would be under the heading of mergers. And actually, I've got a report on two that are actually taking place. One, I know many videos ago, we talked about the fact that the folks at Bunge were talking to Viterra about forming a combined operation, which would be a big, big grain interest. And I guess the shareholders have now voted, and both companies have agreed to go forward with the merger. And we're actually expected
Wow.
to close in mid 2024. So, sometime next
Okay.
year, Bunge and Viterra will be together as a single entity, and we'll have to see what name they go with at that point. So,
No, that's great. Yeah, no, that's a sizable merger for sure.
yes, yeah, and a little smaller. Here in Ohio, there's a ag retailer called Lucky Farmers, not spelled like our dogs' names. It's a third spelling, a third one. This was Luckey. Okay, so third spelling for Lucky. But anyhow, the board members of Lucky Farmers and Ida Farmers Cooperative out of Michigan have agreed to a merger. Those two companies, then, between the two of them, they do business in Northwest Ohio and Southern Michigan, and they will have 11 locations after the merger goes through. And this is expected to close on February 1st of next year. So again, and again, Lucky Farmers, again, they were on our Crop Life 100 a few years ago. They've always been like at number 100, number 99. I imagine with this merger, perhaps they'll get back on the list, but they were not on the list for here in 2023. So, but our congratulations to Lucky Farmers and Ida. And just one other note, they're going to be based in Woodville, Ohio, which is currently Lucky Farmers corporate headquarters. So
that's great. Actually, I don't know if you remember, but in last year it was, we had a global Ag Tech Initiative Alliance webinar, and Lucky Farmer, one of the executives, was on the program, and so I actually knew who Lucky Farmer
yeah
is, and that's great news for them. So
yeah, and actually, yes, their reputation, even though they're smaller as retailers go, they do have a reputation, a good reputation when it comes to ag technology, employing it, and helping their grower customers adopt it. So I'm sure that'll continue to be the case moving forward.
Yeah, that's great for them.
All right. Well, Miss Laura, time for your favorite segment of the show. Time for Fun with Numbers.
You see the green screen behind me? It's room is starting to spin because
actually, and you probably are going to hate me because this week's question is pretty tough, I gotta admit. So
okay.
So your number, to write it down, is 126.5 million tons.
I'm already sweating.
So 126.5 million tons.
Okay.
So it was 126.5 million tons. Is that A, the amount of grain shipped in the U.S. by rail? Is it B, the amount of grain shipped in the U.S. by ship or barge? Is it C, the amount of grain shipped in the U.S. by truck? Or is it D, the approximate weight of the number of leaves I've already raked this fall?
I knew there was going to be a leaves thing in there.
Hey, I've been getting some mileage out of that, and as long as we're in fall, wait till we hit winter and I'm shoveling inches of snow, I'm sure I'll be doing all the D's snow related. But right now it's leaves. It makes sense. So
okay, let me think about this here. Well, I'm gonna go with rail. A.
You are correct. Congratulations, ma'am. Yes, I was considering how much you and I have talked in past videos about rail and how important it is to ag retailers and the agricultural market in general. But then lately we've had a lot of information regarding Mississippi River traffic and
Right.
barges and shipping
Right.
on waterways. So I ran across this item. It was online. It was called Grain Transportation in the United States, and it broke it down by type of transportation. And
Mm-hmm.
126.5 million tons was rail, which equals about 22% of the total.
Okay.
Ship and barge traffic was only 64.4 million tons,
Oh,
much
yeah.
smaller, only about
Yep.
11%. But
Uh-huh.
then the highest number, 67%, was by truck, 383.2 million tons. So,
Oh,
but congratulations, you got it right. I wasn't sure you were going to, considering this was one of those choices that it was like, A, B, or C were very similar. So,
yeah.
congratulations on picking the correct one.
Great. So what's the prize today?
I'm sure you got a nice ding in your ear like we all did. And I suppose if our videographer is listening in, he could probably give you some applause, because I will
Yay.
be more than happy to give you applause for this.
Great. I'll take any success I could and celebration and clapping hands and ducks going across the screen. Bring it on.
Very good. Yeah,
All
very
right.
good. Well, so
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank
So,
you.
Miss Laura, hey, thanks for joining us this week. And viewers, thank you as well for joining us in studio for some nice backdrop of fall. On behalf of myself and Laura Sowinski and everyone here at Crop Life, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.